everybody, welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders on the PDX Picker channel. This is Chris, and today we are going to pull some orders that sold for me on eBay. We're also going to talk about my August results, which were absolutely amazing. And on top of it all, I had probably the best yard sale weekend of the year. Stick around after the intro song. You are not going to want to miss this video.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
All right, so as I mentioned, this video is going to be a lot. I don't know if we're going to get to it all, to be honest. For those of you that are new to my channel, just a quick introduction. My name is Chris. I'm a part-time reseller primarily on eBay. This is my 4th year in the reselling side gig hustle, whatever you want to call it. Every year things are getting better and better for me. So this channel is just for me to show off what has sold for me recently, talk a little bit about the reselling life, talk about some things that I have purchased, and maybe some tips, tricks, things that have helped me along the way that maybe you can use in your eBay business as well to kickstart your sales, and just maybe learn a few things along the way that might just help you out in your business. So today's Monday, Labor Day. It's been quite a few days since my last order pull video. I had a few things that I shipped last Friday that I didn't film. Nothing too spectacular. I mean, definitely good sales. Like I mentioned, August was a really great month for me, and that included some of those sales from last week. But we won't go into those. Instead, let's just talk real quick about my results. I was blown away. I didn't expect this at all. Typically, August for me, the past 3 years that I've done this, has been a little bit on the slow side. It's school starting pretty much everywhere across the country. Well, for whatever reason, that wasn't the case for me this year. So let's take a look at my results. As always, for those of you that have seen any of my results videos in the past, I use my reseller Genie. So when I show you my results, it's not going to be anything fancy. I'm just going to film my screen, so bear with me. Without further ado, we'll kind of zoom in here, and you can see that big spike in the results here. For the month of August, I ended up with $4,947.61 in total sales. That blew away my previous month's record, which was $4,480.86. So almost $500 more in sales for me. Like I said, just totally blown away by the results. Wasn't expecting that at all. I am really close now to hitting the $5,000 barrier, or breaking the $5,000 barrier. I haven't done that yet, but who knows? It might happen this month. It might happen later in the year, but so far things are just, I'm just blown away with how good things are going for me in my eBay business. Now, obviously, for those of you out there thinking, wow, $5,000 a month in sales, and I'm not even that much, that's not that much. Why are we watching this guy? That's probably a valid question, and certainly there are much more successful high volume dollar resellers out there for you to watch, but maybe there's a lot of you out there that are like me that, I devote 15, maybe 20 hours a week to this. It's not something that I spend a huge amount of time doing, but I'm still seeing really, really, in my opinion, great results, even with that little bit of time spent on it. And maybe some of you out there are like that as well. You don't want to spend a huge amount of time. You don't want to do this full time, or you don't have the ability to do it full time. So maybe you will pick up some things along the way that can help you out. All right, let's talk about the yard sale finds I had this weekend. I don't know what it was. I mean, I've had some decent finds in the past month or two, but this weekend, or this Friday, was the only day I went sourcing, was just especially knocked it out of the park. So let's go ahead and start with the first sale I went to. So I ended up going to just advertise sales that I found on Craigslist. I've talked in the past about how, I've had some good luck, some bad luck with these types of sales. I did hit them earlier on in the day, and it paid off. It was great. So let's start with this first sale here. Show you everything that I picked up in this section right here. It is a lot. And as you might be able to tell, I got a ton of Scentsy warmers. I don't know if I've ever bought a Scentsy warmer in the past at a garage sale. Most of the time when I see them, they are just too expensive. They're 15 bucks or so for those that are trying to resell them. I got all these for $2 each. There's, I think, 14 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 14 total. All for $28. Although this one's marked $5. I maybe spent $5 on that one. I don't really know why. I would have, but these are all in working order according to the seller. They're all, there's nothing broken or whatever, but I haven't looked at every single one of these, so I will have to double check that, make sure that's actually true. But I think I can, on average, get about $20 a piece for these, maybe even more. One of them I opened up was new, so that was a nice surprise, but I don't know if any others are going to be new like that. But we got a Valentine's Day one, a couple of Christmas ones here. This is a haunted house themed one. These are all seem to be a little bit on the older side. This is a Halloween spider one. He's Alive Frankenstein. You got one Easter down there, and there's an Easter egg that focuses. And we have a couple. So this Jane one is just like a plain black, I don't know how to describe it, but not holiday themed. Same with this one. This is Morning Grind, which kind of looks like a coffee maker. And then there's a jack-o'-lantern one back there. That's actually the one that's new. Then we have a couple of these little minis. I think these are plugins. I don't know about those, but those are probably $10 items on that one. But that one's a Happy Holidays. I think they're both holiday lights. So very stoked with that find at that sale. Let's try and move these aside. It wasn't the only thing I bought there. I found a couple other things. This is super cool. I don't really know what the value is. I did pay $15 for it. I can't find record of this anywhere on... There's nothing listed currently. There's nothing on Terapeak. There's nothing on WorthPoint. I don't know if this has much of a sales history at all. It is from a company, I believe, called Lee Yee Toys. Leeye. Try and show you. That's where it shows up on the wheel, or on the tire. It says Lee Yee. This is a Lincoln police car with policemen, battery operated. Haven't tested it yet. I don't think... I'm not sure if it'll work, but even without it, it works even without it working. Super cool display piece. It has lights on the top that light up. The guns fire there's lights that come out. And looks like the guns are firing on each of those. Maybe there's something with that. Probably a light on here. Lights on those. There is different siren sounds, looks like, on the back. So this is apparently how you do the gun. There's a fire engine, police, and ambulance sirens. I guess if you push the button on there, it'll amplify your voice. This is like a CB type of thing. So if you push the button on the side there, it'll amplify your voice. This is I guess a Lincoln Cortina would be the model. A little bit bummed. I like this version. Oh, the box came with it too, and the box is super cool. This is the version that I have. I like this black roofed version better, but oh well. It is what it is. Super cool. Like I said, I don't know what the value is because there's just nothing listed. I'm certainly going to shoot high. I'll probably list this for... Well, I'll test it out. If it works, I'll probably list it for $200. But if it doesn't, it'll probably be in the $7,500 range, just for a cool display piece. I don't know if anyone will have this. Remember having this as a kid, but it's certainly a really cool period piece from the 70s. Last thing, I picked this up at that same sale for $5. I only got these because they're in really good condition. I don't think they've been worn more than once or twice. Not a huge model. It's kind of a cool, retro 90s look, although these are definitely not from the 90s. But pick those up for $5. They're probably worth $20, maybe $25. Nothing huge on that by any means, but just because they were in such good condition, I went ahead and picked those up.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like the audio also didn't work for this portion of the video as well. So I'm going to have to do a voiceover on this. Went to another sale and started off with some Starbucks aprons. These are decent sellers. Picked these up for $2 each. So I hope to, I don't know if I'm going to lot them together or sell them separately, but you can usually expect to get around $15 a piece for these. There are certain aprons that are much more valuable than others. I don't know why. I think they're for limited edition holiday versions or something. I don't know. But anyway, for those of you that didn't know, Starbucks aprons can actually be some bolos. So don't be afraid to pick those up if you happen to come across them. I must have turned this on to slow motion on accident on my camera, which is why this isn't working. But anyway, I apologize for that. So this next item I picked up, same sale, $2 for this little box of a wrench, ratchet, and some sockets. Wasn't too interested in it until I picked up this little ratchet here, and it's a snap-on as I accidentally drop it here in the video. But it's a snap-on mini ratchet. There's a special name for it. I can't think of it right now. Nonetheless, that on its own will sell for around $30 to $35. I don't know if I'm going to try and sell off the rest of it or just donate, which I'll probably just donate the rest of it. But this little ratchet itself will definitely be a great pickup. As you probably all know, Snap On is a wonderful brand to be on the lookout for. There is also this piece is a Snap On extender as well. That will probably sell for around $15 free shipping. So think of it as basically $10. So combined about $45 on that $2 pickup. Well, it doesn't look like I was lucky enough to capture any of the audio on the rest of this video, so you're stuck with the voiceover of me. This was an estate sale I went to. This was a pith hat that I picked up. I think the brand is Trimminghams. Picked up for $4. These sell a little bit every now and then for $25. I don't know why. Maybe people were going on Safari or something. But anyway, pick this one up because if nothing else, it's kind of cool. Just to say I bought a pith helmet, safari hat. They had shoes marked there $5 unless they were individually priced, which none of them were. But started off with some really nice Danner Gore-Tex boots. Need just a little bit of cleaning up, but those should easily sell for 40 to probably 60, $70. Just depends on how well they clean up and what the end product looks like. But as you probably all know, Danner boots, really good pickup if you can find them. This next item I picked up probably for personal use because it has a bit of a personal history to it. It's a Crosley 22 Air gun pistol. It shoots pellets. It's a pellet gun, and my dad had one of these when I was growing up. Probably still has it, I'm not sure, but haven't seen it in years and years and years. But it was just fun to play around with, shoot around in the backyard and things. And I paid up for it. I paid $50, which is, I mean, in working condition, it is worth about 175 to $125, somewhere in that range. Just depends on how it looks overall. This one actually, one of the stock handle pieces is missing, or it was replaced with something different. So definitely wouldn't be worth that much, but I'm probably going to keep it from personal use anyway. These are a pair of Patagonia wading boots. Patagonia like fishing wading boots, which I haven't seen before, but definitely a good pickup if you can find them. These again were also $5. The value on these, not surprisingly, is pretty good. About $45 to $55 on those. Going to pick up the last pair of boots, most likely here, which is just a pair of hiking boots that I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but another decent brand, although these aren't in horribly great condition. They're okay. But for $5, certainly worth picking up. So I don't know how y'all are going to feel about this pickup. I paid $35 for a Canon power shot digital camera, which sounds like an awful lot. And it is. I normally wouldn't do that, but sometimes when you're at an estate sale, you're going to have to pay higher estate sale prices. But this turned out to actually be a very good pickup in spite of the high price if it ever shows up on screen. This is a Canon ELPH SD630, I believe is the model on it. Super good sell through rate, as most Canon PowerShot uh, digital cameras are. Tested this one out. It works great. This one also came with an additional battery, which I'll probably pull out here, as well as the charging cable and this retro esque uh, camera bag. Oh, it also came with a charger as well. So, came with basically anything and everything that a buyer would want, and I listed this high for $149.95. So even though I spent $35 on it, if I can get $149.95 for it, it certainly, in my opinion, is worth paying up for it. Picked up some Patagonia Capilene pants. I think 3 or maybe 4 pairs of them, as well as a pair of Levi's 501s. Patagonia was kind of the theme of this estate sale. They definitely liked their Patagonia, and there was a lot of it to be found. Paid approximately, I think, $10 or $12 for these 3, 4 pieces, and they should altogether net me or gross me, I should say, around probably $60 to $75 for the 4 pieces. So again, speaking of Patagonia, they had multiple Patagonia duffel bags, some of them not in the best of condition. These ones had this yellow tape that was put over the top of it. At least I'm assuming it didn't come originally with this yellow tape on it. I think still in spite of that, there's this larger one, and then inside there's a smaller one. Paid a total of $10 for the 2 of them. In spite of that, I can probably get $30 to maybe $40 for each of these. Still in good condition in spite of the weird yellow tape on it. I guessing they probably put that on there to maybe identify them easier in the airport baggage claim area. That's just my guess. I don't know. Maybe they also had them on their bicycle when they were bicycling around for some high visibility. Then there was also this Patagonia duffel bag there, and I'm showing off something else. Right there is the Patagonia duffel bag that I picked up for $8 in much better condition. No weird yellow tape on it, just bad camera work. But that one I think I can pretty easily get $50 to $60, maybe even a little bit more for that. Um, just because of the condition and the size on it. They're both really good factors into the good price on that one. All right, we're finally going to get to the orders that sold for me over the weekend. This first item is a new inbox Estee Lauder Beautiful Perfume. Picked this up for $3 at an estate sale. Took quite a while to sell, and it ended up in my 50% off sale. So I ended up selling it for $14.50 plus shipping. Certainly not great. I thought it was going to be better than that, but for whatever reason, it took a long time to sell. Not for as much as I thought, but still made a decent profit. All right, so this next item that sold, it really fits into the philosophy that I have where if you have an item that has an incredibly good sell-through rate, something that you know is going to sell, think of those Canon digital cameras. Think of the TI-84 or whatever graphing calculator. In this case, this is a Dymo label printer. Picked this up for $7.99 at my favorite thrift store, and unfortunately didn't have half of the power cord that came with it, so I had to buy that for an additional $10. So all in, I had about $18 into the final price, but I tested it out and everything worked great. When I went to list this, I compared it to some of the other sold listings out there, and a lot of them were just not as good as this one. This one has the original box. It has all the cables that come with it that originally came with it. It has some labels that come with it. Just a lot of little accessories that factor into making it a look like a better option maybe than some of the other listings that were out there. So I went ahead and listed it top of market, and that's what I am recommending that you do is find what the top of the market is, what some of the highest selling items have sold for in the last 90 days. Make sure they're not new if you're not selling a new item, but find out what that top of the market price is, and don't be afraid to list it at that. I listed this at top of the market, 149.95, and it sold in a, just a couple of days, 3 4 days at the most. I sold a TI 84 plus CE graphing calculator. The same philosophy, 74.95, top of the market for that. And don't be afraid to do it, especially on these items that will for sure sell. This next item that sold is the last of my employee badges from the Premier Cushion Spring Company. I bought four of these for $5 each. This is my last one that sold for $18.95 plus shipping. These are pretty cool. They're from the 1800s. I think they were basically employee badges. They might have been something else. I don't know, but that's how I'm selling them. And that was the fourth one that sold. So nice little turnaround on those. Next item that sold is basically the last of my good retro video game cartridges that I bought. About a whole bunch of N64 and Sega Genesis cartridges for around $8 or $9 each. This is Heavy Unit by Sega Genesis. It's a Japanese version. Sold that for $39.90, free shipping on that one. And I have a few left that are in the maybe $10 $12 range, assuming they ever sell. I might just lot them up for, I don't know, 15 bucks total or something like that, just to get rid of them because they just aren't very high demand items that are left. Next item that sold, I picked up for $7.99 at my favorite thrift store. It's a Swanee's men's golf polo. I've been trying out the golf polo market and I am not having much success at all. I don't know if there's just not good brands in my area or what, but anyway, I picked that up for $7.99 and it did sell for $20 plus shipping. I was hoping to get higher for it. I originally listed it at $29.95, but wasn't getting a lot of traction. Somebody sent me an offer for $20 and I took it. This next item that sold, take this as a public service announcement, a PSA for you about what not to do when it comes to cleaning up shoes. I bought a pair of Nike Shox from my favorite thrift store, paid probably $7.99, maybe $7.50. I think they were probably half off. Really good condition, like super good for a 15-year-old pair of shoes. Want to clean them, did a good job cleaning it up. They looked really nice, but I got super impatient when it came to them drying. I had set them out on my deck to dry in the sun, and there was one spot that wasn't drying out. So I had a quota on items that I wanted to list that day, and those shoes were included in there. So I took my heat gun and I turned that on to try and dry it off and kind of set it in that one section. You can see that hole formed because I melted the plastic mesh that was on there. Turned a pair of 40, 50, $60 shoes into a pair of shoes that did sell, thankfully. Still made a profit. Sold for $18.95 plus shipping, and the buyer was super thrilled to get them, even though they had the hole in them, which is kind of surprising. Left raving, positive feedback. But anyway, do not use a heat gun on shoes at all. I would recommend. It's just the temperature is way too hot. Um, it's really something you want to use sparingly to remove your price tags and things of that nature. But just be careful when you use it because you can ruin an item. Not completely in this case, but you can ruin an item's value, like I did with these shoes here. Picked this next item up at the Thrift of Palooza. It's a sealed copy of ZZ Top Afterburner, a record from 1985. Picked this up for $5 from a really nice vinyl record seller. This apparently was his dad's copy that has been sitting around unopened for 30, almost 40 years now. Sold that for $29.95 plus shipping. This is interesting. Something I learned about these, there's a club edition version and a retail version. The club edition version will not have a barcode on it, which I don't know if that's less desirable or more. I know for comics, that's usually less desirable. But there you can see in the upper right corner, it's just a white box instead where the UPC normally would go. I did make sure to put that in my listing because that is important. So keep that in mind for when you're listing records and comics. Whether or not there's a UPC can make a difference to the collector, to the buyer. That's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for putting up with the technical difficulties. Please like this video if you did and subscribe to my channel to get more content like this in the future. Good luck with all of your reselling ventures out there. We'll see you on the next video. So take care. Bye-bye.